years ago, a man's fantasy became reality in a form never seen before. Kitchen Stadium, a giant cooking arena. The motivation for spending this fortune to create Kitchen Stadium was to encounter new original cuisines, which could be called true artistic creations. To realize his dream, he secretly started choosing the top chefs of various styles of cooking, and he named his men the Iron Chefs, the invincible men of culinary skills. Iron Chef Japanese is Masaharu Morimoto. Iron Chef French is Hiroyuki Sakai. Iron Chef Chinese is Chen Kenichi. And Masahiko Kobe is Iron Chef Italian. Kitchen Stadium is the arena where Iron Chefs await the challenges of master chefs from around the world. Both the Iron Chef and Challenger have 1 hour to tackle the theme ingredient of the day. Using all their senses, skills, creativity, they're to prepare artistic dishes never tasted before. And if ever a challenger wins over the Iron Chef, he or she will gain the people's ovation and fame forever. Every battle, reputations are on the line in Kitchen Stadium, where master chefs pit their artistic creations against each other. What inspiration does today's challenger bring? And how will the Iron Chef fight back? The heat will be on!
If memory serves me right, it was 4 months ago when the Ota faction tried to invade the Kitchen Stadium. Led by Tadamichi Ota, top chefs around Japan flocked together to take down Morimoto to protect pure Japanese cuisine. But two devastating losses in a row. This was unbearable for Kandagawa.
Ota faction, it's gut check time. 2 losses in a row, shame on you. You know, we're here to make Morimoto understand what Japanese cuisine is all about. But look at us, we're just a prop to him. Now, bring it on!
Hearing this, Ota went back and handpicked another man from Arima Hot Springs outside the Osaka area.
This time I'm sending a young one, brilliant in using salt.
So, the third hitman is a conjurer of the key to Japanese cuisine, salt. Will they prove themselves this third time? Fine, I accept the challenge. Today's challenger, a favorite in the Ota faction, conjurer of salt from Arima Hot Springs, Hiroyuki Hakogi. This conjurer of salt first met Tadamichi Ota when he was only 15. It took him just 8 years to become one of Ota's favorite cooks. And at 23, he became a head chef.
Salt is the most essential element to draw the natural flavors of the ingredients.
His works reveal the art of salt. Fine adjustment of salt heightens the natural flavors of all the ingredients. So now, Hakogi, use your salt magic and go for the first win for the Ota faction.
Hakogi, like curing fish with salt, cure Morimoto.
For you, boss, I'm going to win.
森本に和食の本土を叩き込むと言いながらも連敗続きの太田軍団、そこで今回は 和食の真髄である塩使いの名手を送り込んでまいりました。さあ皆さん大きな拍手でお迎えください。神戸漢方の宿有馬料理長箱木宏之。
Once again, Kitchen Stadium is overrun by the Ota faction, the defenders of the traditional and Japanese cuisine led by Tadamichi Ota. This time a whopping 70 members filing in. The factions lost 2 matches to Morimoto, losses that have served only to enhance the Iron Chef's reputation, much to the dismay of Toshiro Kandagawa. Today, the youthful Hakogi, the Sultan of Salt, and a walking encyclopedia of Japanese cooking techniques, tries to bring Morimoto to his knees.
どうも、Otaさんよろしく。今回は今までで一番多い。
Yes, that's right.
素晴らしいです。
Thank you.
今日はいかがでしょうか。
I feel confident today.
そうですか。
Yeah.
連敗続きで神田川さんの顔色もいまいちのようですけれど、いかがですか。
Oh, wait until the battle is over.
そうですか。それでは太田軍団の挑戦をことごとく退けてきたうちの鉄人を登場させましょう。一人だけ蘇るがいいアイアンシェフ。
Ascending into Kitchen Stadium, Iron Chef Japanese Masaharu Morimoto, who continues his quest exploring the potential of Japanese cuisine. Heading the kitchen at New York's world-famous Nobu, he's won followers from around the globe for his creative approach to neo-Japanese cooking. 2 wins under his belt against the Ota faction, but they're back in force. This time they say with the chef who will take him down for sure.
今回は塩使いの名手のために満月に取れるという特別の塩も用意してみました。その塩にふさわしい食材といえばやはり海水の中にいるあの出世魚が旬。それでは発表します。今日のテーマはこれです。今日のテーマブリ。
Designated hitman number 3 for the Ota faction, challenger Hakogi, trying to be the first one to knock off Iron Chef Morimoto. This rivalry's getting personal. Ota and Kandagawa upping the ante. It's all on the line today with Yellowtail is the theme. Let's get it on!
On it, Kazin!
All right, opening gong, we are off, and the cheering from the Ota faction right from the start, fired up as ever. They've struck out twice against Morimoto, hoping today the 3rd time is a charm, that it goes their way as the men select the Yellowtail up there, that they'll work with some beauties up at the stand. Doc, I mean, wow, these are some awesome looking Yellowtail today.
Yeah, they're very big, and these are top quality. I'm guessing one of these will fetch about $1,000 to $1,500 per.
No way.
Unbelievable. At that price, they should be called Golden Tail. As Morimoto gets one set up on the cutting board.
I've never seen them. These are like the best I've ever seen.
And now the Sultan of Salt, challenger Hakogi, getting loaded up with the white stuff. Wow. Several varieties there. Didn't know that there were that many varieties of salt. What about this one?
This one actually is produced in the island's Ogasawara area from seawater taken under a full moon.
Huh? What exactly is the meaning of that?
Oh, it sounds romantic.
Well, it's rich in minerals and has about 45 different types of minerals, actually, and it's not refined artificially.
Okay, au natural with the salt under the full moon, and now we know that all salt's not created equal. We'll find out more as we go along. The rice cooker on his side is filled, power on, and he's making the first cut right there. Okay, now let's introduce our guests for today's battle. First, the new manager of the Hiroshima Cart baseball team, Mitsuo Tatsukawa. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure.
Tatsukawa-san, the coming season, you guys are expected to be right in the thick of it. And I understand you and Morimoto have a baseball connection of some sort.
Yes, we knew each other as baseball players. Our teams played each other, you see.
In Hiroshima?
Yes, he was our rival.
About, what, 25 years ago or so?
Oh, right, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Morimoto's name was, he was pretty big in high school baseball back then. We played in the prefectural championship game. Yeah,
he was the captain of the team at Sotoku High School, right?
Yeah, and junior high school. See, he was a catcher, and he was scouted by a lot of the other stronger high school teams.
That good?
He was, yeah, that's for sure.
All right, and after all these years, you guys hook up again.
Yes.
Rivals back then for the national tourney?
Yes, his eyes are even sharper looking now than he
Really? All right. Now, I know you guys competed against each other on the diamond, but throw that out when it comes to the judging today, okay?
Oh, yeah, we'll be fair, we'll be fair.
Okay, good. And we also have actress Keiko Saito.
Hello, nice to be here.
Saito-san, Yellowtail, it can be called hamachi or buri.
Booty.
Doc, any difference?
Well,
Oh, right, I wanted to ask.
they're the same, but in Japan, the names change for some fish as they grow. The people in the East tend to use hamachi more, but usually hamachi is the next size down from buri.
But it's the same fish.
Okay.
This is buri, definitely. There are 4 stages for this. There's wakashi, inara, warasa, and buri.
All right, and then this one is a buri, large yellowtail here with the challenger.
This is a little confusing maybe for our U.S. viewers.
Fukusan,
Yes, from the floor, Ota, go ahead.
about this reunion with Tatsukawa-san, Iron Chef Morimoto says, last time we saw each other, I was 18 years old, 25 years ago, and he hasn't changed a bit. It's nice to see him again, but I still remember how our team lost 2 games against this guy, so he's not exactly a good luck charm for me.
Well, sometimes the losses are the hardest memories to shake there. Tatsukawa, what type of food do you like?
Anything. Anything that's good.
Fukusan,
Go ahead.
when I mentioned the 2 previous battles to Toshiro Kandagawa, the advisor to the Ota faction up in the royal box, he said sternly, 2 losses to Morimoto. Yeah, I know. We're not just window dressing here. We're serious about this, and everything changes today with our secret weapon, Hakogi. I'm sure he's going to bear our winning shot at the title.
Whoa.
Well, he's not happy.
Okay, just to remind, no relation between our Ota and the faction chief. Go ahead.
Yes, both the Challenger and the Iron Chef have their rice cookers going. The Iron Chef has contented himself with plain rice, no surprises there, but the Challenger has added moon salt to this.
Where? Really?
Into the rice cooker.
Salt in the rice cooker?
Yes, in with the rice.
Oh, with the rice.
With the rice.
Yes, he's added the moon salt to the rice that we talked about.
So salt with rice?
Anything unusual about that approach, Doc?
Well, by adding just a little bit, might get some better results, but...
Think about rice balls. You add salt to that, eh?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
that's
I
true.
didn't think about that.
All right, well, that's what a manager does.
Thinking?
Yeah, good job.
And now on the Iron Chef side here,
Okay, these are the cutoffs, the heads and bones, so he's using cutoffs here.
Oh, looks like spare ribs.
Yeah, that looks good.
Tasty.
Say wait for me.
go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of these choice cuts, he does have the bones, and I believe the stomach of the yellowtail as well.
Yeah, so all that you call cutoffs.
Quite a lot of fat there coming to the surface as the heat penetrates on that.
Okay, look, the salt is out.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Let's see what he does.
Now, is this the moon salt?
It doesn't look like it.
Looks like everyday salt here.
15
Yeah, just the
minutes
regular
have
stuff.
elapsed.
Okay, the saltness salt.
He's dumping it? He's
What's
getting
up
rid of
here?
it? Maybe washing it.
Or for purification in a spiritual sense?
Well, that's one reason maybe, but the real reason is to wash away the fishy smell in the cutting board. Salt's really effective for degreasing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And back to that purifying aspect, even in baseball, they'll put small mounds of salt in the dugout to try to stop a bad losing streak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's common.
Hope it doesn't happen this year, do you?
Fukusan,
What do you have?
I asked Iron Chef Morimoto how he feels about accepting a 3rd challenge from this faction, and he told me these guys are so persistent and the group is growing, but they don't scare me. It's just another day at the office.
Well, Morimoto's really gotten under their skin, Kandagawa and Ota, and what he produces, it ain't what they call Japanese cuisine, so they've got the Sultan of Salt, playing his game on the Yellowtail, a good fish to work with the salt today.
Fukusan,
Yes.
I'm on the Challenger side now, and in this pot he has Japanese sake, to which he has added yet another kind of salt, Hakata coarse salt.
Okay, my guess is he's making saturated salt water.
Oh, I see.
Well, he has really dumped a lot in there.
Yeah, well, what he's doing is he's going to keep adding it until it gets to the point where no more salt will dissolve. And then I think that's what he'll be using for some of his cooking later on.
All right.
Wow, that sounds really scientific, like a chemistry experiment or something.
And now the Iron Chef on his side, pot on the stove, and what is bubbling there? These are the cutoffs that he grilled.
Uh-huh,
yeah.
right.
And maybe a broth?
Fukusan.
Okay, take it.
Yes, the Iron Chef is now making a broth from the bones, and when I said bones, he said, yes, bones, if you use the head or the skin, it'll smell too fishy. The bones are a perfect choice to add the flavor of the fish to the soup.
Bones alone.
That's what he said.
Okay, and some chopped up daikon, I think, went in there. And Tatsukawa-san, you didn't know that Morimoto's been making a name for himself in New York, did you?
No, not at all. Till I was asked to be on the show.
A real baseball man, huh?
Yeah, I checked with a lot of people. All of them said, where have you been? He's more famous than you are.
Hey, hold on now.
So I got ticked off. I said, hey, I know him from back in high school.
Way back.
I didn't know the guy was Iron Chef Japanese.
Well, we're glad to get you two back together again. Go.
Let me update you on what the Challenger is doing now. You'll remember he had a minute ago, he had a mix of sake and salt.
Right.
Well, he transferred that to another bowl for chilling, and now he's added slices of yellowtail. He tells me this is a technique to make everything salty from the very beginning of preparation. It's a technique that was developed in the 12th century, he says.
I mean, now we're really going way back.
Well, back then, Japan, salt was about the only seasoning they had, so they were creative.
All right, challenger. Hakogi's his name, cooking with salt his game, and there the skin finally pulled off
Now,
that
what's
fillet
this?
section.
What's this?
Iron Chef side.
Papaya?
Yeah, papaya.
It's mysterious sauce.
Fukusan.
Go ahead, Ota.
Yeah, here the Iron Chef has wine vinegar, tofu, sesame seeds, mayonnaise, diced fatty yellowtail, and mangoes.
He added mayo as well.
Huh? Tofu and mayonnaise?
All right, here's our first foray into neo-Japanese.
Oh.
They're probably rolling their eyes upstairs, and now back to Hakogi with the
Fukusan.
soup, it appears. Yes.
The challenger also has an interesting combination here. This is broth, sweet cooking sake, heavy soy sauce, regular sake, and sugar. And to that he has added minced liver and also fish skin.
Okay, the liver.
And that's where the skin ended up, too, in that
And
moment.
Fukusan,
Go.
Chef Kandagawa just had to comment about Morimoto's matching with yellowtail and mangoes. He grimaced and mumbled, "How many Japanese would eat something like that?"
Well, the Iron Chef is on a different path. I can't wait to try it.
Well, there it is in a nutshell. The Ota faction maintains Japanese chefs have to uphold tradition, and for Morimoto, just following tradition ties you down, he says, and now here, grilled yellowtail chunks.
Okay, I see. Now remember that broth that he was making using the innards?
Right, yeah?
I think that's the sauce for this teriyaki.
The sauce right there.
For the teriyaki.
I'm thinking maybe that's what it
And
is.
there's ice under there, so why is this one chilled?
Is he chilling it? Really?
Yeah, dog.
Fukusan, this has gelatin in it.
Okay, that's it. Strike one for me.
So it means what, though?
It means I was wrong, okay?
All right.
I was wrong.
A jellied
Fukusan?
fish soup.
I
Okay,
think so,
go
too.
ahead.
This pot contains a mixture of water, Japanese kelp, coarse salt from Hiroshima, and what else? Oh, yes, lightly salted yellowtail.
Boy, that looks good right there.
Yeah.
And now here, this one.
Huh?
Yeah, I want to know what this is, too.
You could have this one with a bowl of rice.
I think you're right.
Fukusan?
Yes.
What the challenger is stirring here is flaked yellowtail, sake, sweet cooking sake, and 2 kinds of soy sauce, mixing them all together.
All right, how about yellowtail flakes?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Breakfast of champions.
30 minutes have elapsed.
All right, 30 minutes gone now, and passing the halfway mark, the Ota faction lets loose in rhythm, the rhythm of the fight. Iron Chef Morimoto taking on the third man the factions put forward. Hakogi, a man who respects the principles of the tried and true in Japanese cuisine.
Okay, we've got jellied fish soup here.
Yeah, you were right.
Jellied yellowtail soup, yes.
I asked the Iron Chef why he's using so many pure Japanese cuisine techniques today, and he said, with 70 of these Ota faction guys surrounding me, I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to have them tell me what I'm doing wrong. And then he winked and smiled.
All right, a wink for you, Ota, but the game face stays on whenever the camera comes around. And he said it. You want to see something traditional? Okay. He'll pull in the horns somewhat on the neo-Japanese. And here on replay, a delicious-looking quarter section of yellowtail. Go!
Yeah, let me explain what we're seeing here on Instant Replay. This is a half of a whole yellowtail with coarse salt and peanut oil being poured on. That is now being grilled in the oven.
All right, doors shut, temperatures rising.
Why peanut oil?
Well, it's very light, and it doesn't get in the way of the fatty part of the yellowtail.
Okay, I see.
All right, and now here also on the Iron Chef side, some sauce and fixings in the pan.
Oh, yeah, he's marinating it.
Fukusan.
Go ahead.
This is soy sauce, sugar, sake, pepper, sweet sake, garlic, ginger, crushed sesame seeds, tomato beefsteak leaves, and scallions.
And this is for what dish?
And the fish there soaking it all up.
Boy, just grilled lightly would be very nice with this. Oh, here it comes.
Challenger side, the rice.
Wow, how well is it salted?
Rice cooked with salt mixed in. Of course, no way we can surmise anything about that visually. And there it is. Use your imagination. A couple of chops now. Whoa, what was that? Vinegar he just put in?
Okay, vinegared rice.
Okay, for sushi then. He's making rice for some yellowtail sushi. Can't get more traditional than that.
Can we get a shot of the Iron Chef here? He's got half a yellowtail.
The one with the peanut oil.
Right, soaking up some of the excess and whoa.
Is it shichimi?
No, it's not that.
How about paprika?
No, not just paprika, I don't think.
Okay, paprika and...
I think it's called epis.
This is chili pepper, he says.
Chili pepper only?
Well, there are some other things in it, but mainly chili pepper.
All right,
Well,
we got
chili
it.
pepper, of course, is hot, but as far as I can see, this is a mix of various spices.
All right, I'm with you on that, Doc.
I think this is called epis. It's a mix of spices.
And quite a generous amount covering the grilled yellowtail there.
Okay, now, if we can get a shot of the Challenger over
All right,
here.
we'll swing back.
Oh, at last.
Oh, yeah, there we
The
go.
full moon salt is going to be used.
A stone mortar being employed here.
He's going to grind it?
And this salt from seawater taken during the night of a full moon. How poetic.
Oh, it's so pretty, the
Yeah,
crystal.
it's very...
Rock salt being ground through the mortar.
And the crystals are so big, aren't they?
20 minutes to go.
All right, 20 minutes remaining, and on cue, the faction members pump up the volume. The Ota faction in force. Go, big fella.
Yeah, let me review the ingredients in this challenger's pot. Kelp broth, salted yellowtail slices, Kyoto carrots, daikon radish, Kyoto potatoes, konnyaku, sake leaves, bonito broth, saikyo miso, and ungranulated moon salt.
Rock salt straight in.
That's right.
Okay. And so that's salt from the seawater taken on a full moon night, finding its way into another dish right here being made by Challenger Hakogi.
Fukusan?
Yes.
Yeah, I asked Tadamichi Ota how good Challenger Hakogi really is using salt, and he said in the old days we used to say it takes 10 years to perfect your knife techniques and 15 years to acquire everything you need to know about salt.
What?
He's mastered it all at his age.
Incredible. 15 years for salt?
Wow. Okay, now right now you'll see he's added Japanese pepper or sansho.
Salt and sansho?
Yeah, mixed into the salt.
And he's going to grill it with the miso.
Here on the Challenger side.
Oh, see? Yeah.
Okay, a miso grill.
And they'll put those on skewers over charcoal, miso flavored cued yellowtail, salt underneath. Sounds good. Now on the Iron Chef side.
Rice? No way.
What is this?
I don't know.
Bag of charcoal, maybe?
The outside looks like a rice barrel. What's inside?
Oh, it's rice.
Koshi hikari.
Yeah.
He's going to start cooking rice from now?
Koshi Hikari from Uonuma, top-notch brand. We have it in the stadium.
But for which dish? Just the outside?
Okay.
For decoration?
Just wants the straw covering. Now the Challenger working the rice for sushi here.
Okay, my guess is he'll be making hand-rolled or ball-shaped
Roll your
sushi.
own. And of course, he'll have inside...
Yellowtail slices?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Okay, yes.
In this bowl, the Challenger is mixing together sushi rice or vinegared rice and raw yellowtail slices. He also added thick soy sauce to this, and that's what you see here.
Okay, so he's just making stuff that he's used to making.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
But
I think
he's
so.
very controlled and efficient, though.
And Hakogi, what else? He's at it again.
Yeah, he'll be adding some salt onto this.
Fukusan.
Yes.
Why is Challenger Hakogi sprinkling salt over this special paper rather than directly onto the food? He explained that this technique is called kamijio, salting over paper, developed 900 years ago. This method gives you a milder salting effect, a sophisticated taste.
Actually, I was going to mention that a minute ago, but you guys were off talking about something else. It's very intricate technique, actually.
All right.
And Fukusan?
Yes.
Yeah, Hattori-san will remember the powder that the Iron Chef was sprinkling over the yellowtail. He says it is mainly chili powder, but it also has other ingredients: coriander, garlic powder, minced garlic, and cloves.
Wow, about 5 or 6 different things in there with that.
Right, you see, it wasn't just chili powder alone then.
No, he added a lot more, and now here's how he wanted to use the straw covering. I guess that's a concession to tradition in the presentation aspect here. At least the approach of the appearance seems to be in line with the tradition. Now, on the Challenger side, miso-flavored grill, if we can hear...
What else is he doing here?
Bamboo leaves for wrapping and paper around him, too.
I still think he has something mixed into the miso, however.
Fukusan?
Yes.
Yes, this is a special blend. This is a white miso that has been mixed in with butterbur sprouts and eggs.
Oh, butterbur sprouts. That's a common technique, actually. When spring is nearing, it's actually the first edible plant available in the mountains.
All right.
Now, if we can get a shot of the Iron Chef over here.
Oh, a rice bowl being heated? What?
Yeah, just like the style in a Korean barbecue.
Oh, grilled on stone. Yeah.
But what will the ingredients be for this one?
Well, rice, of course, and then maybe the item that has been marinated.
This one should taste great after it's grilled on stone.
All right, now I'm up to speed on it. The Iron Chef, a Korean style.
Oh, look at that. It's got sesame seeds and sesame seed oil, so perhaps a touch of Korean in flavor here.
All right, now the Challenger side, his rice has been treated with vinegar, made into sushi rice, and a bevy of items, yes.
Speaking of the sushi rice or the vinegared rice the Challenger has in these bowls, this is the rice that he added the moon salt to. And the vinegar that he added later had also been flavored with coarse salt from Hiroshima. And when I asked him if all this was really necessary, he replied, vinegar can be accentuated further with a touch of salt. That's all I'm doing, but you would notice the subtle differences. Back to you.
All right, a touch of salt suits him any day.
Okay, and the yellowtail flakes are in this?
Yeah, you're right about that.
A quick glance at the clock right now, 6.5 minutes, counting down.
Okay, I get it. Now, I thought he had soup only, but he's going to use daikon radish in another way here.
Okay, a search and separate mission by the Iron Chef.
So nice with all the different flavors.
Yeah.
And the Iron Chef and both men now with a quick taste test. Same time, real time, and this looking very tasty here.
Now, is there yellowtail in this?
I don't think so
Not
yet.
yet, no.
Yeah, it wasn't.
All right,
It was.
I stand corrected.
Sorry about that.
Now this stew, miso-based, yellowtail in there.
5
Sake
minutes
lees
to
also
go.
being absorbed in the broth, and 5 minutes to go, and the battle cry sounds again. Members very excited, and there's Fuji standing to the right, the Hokkaido Bear. Their first challenger in here, and who was declawed by the Iron Chef. Kandagawa and Oda putting all their chips on Hakogi today, and the young man really looks like he's near completion with his dishes.
Yeah, he's one fine chef,
Got his
actually.
chops down,
Yeah,
and rice
and-
now on top.
Stone grill item here from the Iron Chef, right?
And the edible mountain plant on the left.
Oh, the rape blossoms.
Rape go.
The items the Iron Chef is using for a topping here are Chinese spinach, rape leaves, and edible mountain greens sautéed in sesame seed oil.
Sautéed and then put on top.
Yeah, and
Oh, here we go, the slices.
To be cooked by the steam off the rice.
Boy, you know, this looks great. I want to try this.
Korean barbecue, usually beef, but here the Iron Chef substituting with yellowtail. How about it, Skipper?
Hey, I want a piece right now.
oh, it looks so nice.
And the challenger is using the miso, I believe, with the butterbur sprouts in it.
And also doing a little tie job there.
Squeeze out.
Quickly go.
More comments from Kandagawa-san in the Royal Box. Today, Hakogi is doing a great job sticking to his salt techniques and drawing out the natural flavor of the yellowtail with his simple recipes. Morimoto has failed because he's depended too much on spices. No one can tell what kind of a fish this was.
Well, he got a kick out of your report, big fella. Thanks. And the Korean yellowtail now.
Oh, is
this
that
one
wasabi?
looks like it.
The color doesn't look right, though.
So then what?
Well, what was the last item he put on? That doesn't look like wasabi to me.
Fukusan,
Go ahead.
Yeah, this wasabi look-alike is dried citrus powder and pepper.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Okay, yuzu pepper
3
with some
minutes to
strands
go.
of dried seaweed, and 3 minutes left in the battle. The Ota faction rises up again, the defenders of the flag. Actually, they've got their own flags in the stadium today. 70 believers fighting to preserve traditional Japanese cuisine. All of them on their feet now, cheering their man. Hakogi's one of the younger members of the faction, but his youth is no indication of the level of his skills, and he's put on a great performance today.
You know, neither of them really scrambled to get this all done in 1 hour.
Really, both knew what they wanted to do with the yellowtail, and I think they both have accomplished it. And the challenger again now getting the full moon salt out of the stone mortar. Don't know quite what he's up to here, but maybe except for some salt on the side. Challenger's been steady all the way through, and he appears to have it now on cruise control heading toward the finish line. Now we've got a teapot over there on his side for what? Maybe some salt water to
1
pour onto the
minute to
rice?
go.
Well, it's not a tea for pouring over the rice.
No, not that.
All right, 1 minute left. Morimoto instructions. Kandagawa and Ota here for the third time. When it comes to Japanese cuisine, make no mistake, they are conservative and in no mood to show any compassion to the Iron Chef or those who choose not to conform to the traditional values of Japanese cuisine. The Sultan of Salt, he goes by the book. The
30
Iron Chef, the
seconds to
ultimate
go.
rule breaker. But who'll be able to draw out the natural flavor of the top quality yellowtail they've been given today? The philosophies, you can throw them out the window. The taste of the dishes is what's going to determine the winner here. The Iron Chef's already
15
beaten 2
seconds to
challengers from the
go.
faction, so Kandagawa, Ota and company would love nothing more
10
than to see
seconds to
Hakogi
go.
give the Iron Chef a thumping, win this, and in the process discredit
5
the very
seconds.
concept at the core of his neo-Japanese
3,
approach.
2,
The final
1.
seconds are ticking down, and that's it. The cooking's done. The Yellowtail battle is over.
You had the various kinds of salt,
Yes.
and you've mastered the techniques.
Yeah, yes.
How are your dishes?
I'm satisfied.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Because, of course, the Ota faction
Yes.
just can't afford to lose another one.
I won't lose.
You've done it?
Yes.
You seemed extra fired up today.
Always. Just that kind of face.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything to do with Tatsukawa-san being here?
That was a factor.
Oh, yeah? Now, obviously, your opponent is shooting for a win, of
Yes.
course. How about you?
I won't lose.
All right.
Challenger Hakogi is offering 5 dishes. First, char-broiled yellowtail. The fish is salt-flavored, cooked with the technique called paper-wrapped salting. The full moon salt is what pulls out the subtle sweetness of the yellowtail fish. Second, jellied yellowtail soup. A unique consistency is attained by adding okra. The chewy texture of the innards matches nicely with the jelly. Miso grilled yellowtail. A celebratory dish for the faction's first win. Fried butterbur sprouts are mixed into white miso for flavoring. Fourth is yellowtail sake lees stew in a broth made from the yellowtail bones and cutoffs. He combined 2 types of sake lees for a sophisticated finish, a wonderful presentation of the sweetness of yellowtail. Last is yellowtail sushi, served with green tea with just a hint of moon salt in it. The sushi is finished by combining salmon roe and chicken eggs. The rice, boiled with a dash of salt, provides a fine platform to enjoy the natural flavor of yellowtail. The Iron Chef also has 5 dishes. First, marinated yellowtail and mangoes, marinated after first being boiled in kelp broth. The dish is Morimoto's variation on a marinated oyster recipe. Second, yellowtail salad. The cooked stomach of the yellowtail adds a unique texture to the overall experience, while the fatty part of the fish accentuates the flavor. Third, grilled yellowtail. The fish grilled twice, first after sprinkling salt and peanut oil on it, and second after further dressing it with a mix of several spices. This creation is further enhanced by the Iron Chef's sour cream sauce. Yellowtail shabu shabu and daikon soup. Yellowtail sashimi will be dipped into a heated daikon soup just before tasting. The soup made from the bones is truly a Morimoto original. The sauce, using grated cucumbers and citrus juice, adds to the experience, as does the pepper-spiced daikon cooked in the soup. Last, stone-grilled yellowtail on rice, another borderless approach dish. It looks Korean but uses citrus pepper for flavoring. A masterpiece, combining ingredients no one else could imagine. And now, the moment of truth, tasting and judgment. On the panel today are Lower House member Shinichiro Kurimoto, actress Keiko Saito, Hiroshima Cart manager Mitsuo Tatsukawa, and fortune teller Kazuko Hosoki. First, the dishes of challenger Hakogi.
今日はブリですけれども、
Yes.
もちろん普段塩をお使いになりますけれども、今日は意識的にこのお塩をこう使ったというところはございます。
Well, yes.
This is good.
Yeah.
Morimoto, good loser. I'm worried. If there's
You
a
can't be
tie.
biased by friendship.
Yeah, but I'll just vote for the challenger.
The salt pulls out the natural sweetness of the fish, and while doing that, it also suppresses the oily part.
It's really good.
The fatty part of the fish matches well with miso, so I made a miso grill.
味噌の中のフキノトウがこれかなり効いてますね。
The miso itself is perfectly done, and while the butter burrs, the subtle green taste really works with the miso to draw out the sweetness in this fish.
I'm at a loss for words. It's so delicate. How could you have accomplished this at such a young age? The miso is blended so perfectly.
Hakogi will now serve the stew using sake lees.
The head and the cut-off pieces were used to make the broth.
ただキャンプの寒い時にこういうまた最高ですね。
Yeah. Where we do our spring training, there is a fishing port, and they're really high quality yellowtail, like this comes in. I'm going to have someone cook this for my players.
For me, this is a little too salty and too strong. But the yellowtail itself is really gentle. It's strong, but not overwhelming, so to speak.
The sake-lees stew is really good, and I think it's the yellowtail that ties everything together here.
Raw yellowtail, and also braised minced fish meat as well, as you can see.
The fatty bits just melt in your mouth. Delicious. And the aroma lingers on the palate. I've never had sushi like this, kind of like fried rice. It's the first time.
The taste is okay, but I wished you'd just used the flakes and didn't mix in anything else.
I was watching him cook in the kitchen. He was very controlled. The flavors are also very controlled.
Well, this has reminded me how good Japanese cuisine can be. Yes, you really created Japanese cuisine using yellowtail only. 5 wonderful dishes using yellowtail. I think you did a wonderful job.
And now up, the dishes of Iron Chef Morimoto.
Yes.
Well, I did my best. Oh, go ahead, please.
First time. It's my honor.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous.
No.
What a reunion.
I'm getting emotional, too.
Do we squeeze the citrus on this?
No, first without it, please.
Oh, without.
The sourness of the citrus is splendid, and the mangoes match nicely with the mayonnaise. It's good, but it's not great.
I'm feeling the flavor reaching all the way down to my stomach, But I don't want to praise him too much. But I have to be honest, this is really good stuff.
この香辛料は何種類か使ってるんですよね。
About 7.
7種ぐらい。
Yes.
I think this is the best dish. All the different spices encapsulate the flavor of the fish, and inside my mouth, they're just melting.
I'd guess this flavor is designed specifically for Tatsukawa-san's taste buds. But for the rest of us, the spices are a bit too strong, I think.
This is good. It's spicy. I'm really moved.
Impressed?
Yeah, I'm moved. This is great. What can I say?
Now Morimoto will finish the Yellowtail Shabu Shabu.
The really fresh, green smell of the cucumbers, you know what I mean? That's the key to this dish.
If you're going to make shabu shabu, I just wish you would make the slices thinner. It would be easier to eat. This is like lightly boiled sashimi.
And now the Iron Chef will serve the last dish with the finishing sauce.
If you want it well done, keep stirring it around the stone. Usually, Korean spices are used for this, but I use citrus pepper.
Very good, really. If I get fired, I'll apprentice under you, man, okay?
All the way to New York, right?
I'll wash your dishes.
The yellowtail's fluffy and warm texture, and the crispy rice's savory aroma is really nice. It's an incredibly creative idea.
It's different from what it looks like. Really, it's quite well organized in flavors. So in that sense, it's a Japanese-style recipe. This is really good.
You know, in baseball, he was second class.
Bite your tongue.
But this is world class. Yeah, I was really, really impressed.
3度目となった太田軍団対森本の審査発表。このキッチンスタジアムに3度目の正直などという甘い言葉はありません。それでは発表します。
Today in Kitchen Stadium, the Ota faction sending out their third hitman to try to take out the Iron Chef. Challenger Hakogi, the Sultan of Salt, showing us just how skilled he is, seasoned beyond his years, staying true to the cause. The Iron Chef, he'll never toe that line. He cooks to his own drummer. Can he hold him off again? Who takes it? Whose cuisine reigns supreme?
鉄人森本正治。
It's the Iron Chef. Morimoto does it again. Strike 3 of defection. You're out. Hakogi put up a great fight, but he shakes hands as the vanquished. No celebratory dish today. Morimoto sees to that with another big win in the Yellowtail Battle. All right, let's check the scores. Kurimoto 17-15 Iron Chef. Saito 19-18 Iron Chef. Tatsukawa goes for the Iron Chef 20-19. Hosoki 19-18 Challenger 3-1 Morimoto. The Challenger was tough, but maybe a tad light on the creative front. Morimoto's never light there, and he enjoyed a reunion with his high school rival today. He didn't make it in baseball, but he's found a home in Kitchen Stadium. Iron Chef Japanese Masaharu Morimoto.
The Challenger, Hakogi-san's dishes, they were great too. Yeah. Please, challenge once again.
Thanks.
If I wasn't on the panel, it might have been even closer, you know? And Morimoto-san, congratulations. Let's keep in touch. If my team gets lucky and we win the pennant, please come and cook for my players. Thanks again.